Welcome to another episode of the Wanderers YouTube channel. I am your host, as always, Ventura, and on today's episode, the Halloween special. We shall be in-depthing, yes, that's a real word, one of the spookiest villains in the Wanderers Rogues Gallery. Do you like clowns? Do you like nightmares? Well, let me introduce you to this bad boy. We got motherfucking Circus King, Mr. Spooky Demon Man. Look at his demon face. But just to ramp it down a little bit, today, let me just, thank everyone of the artists that came here to help me in preparing for this video and bringing Circus King to life. Starting off with the classics, we have Paul Robinson, Arc Sam, and of course, Barkarat, aka Shimigami. But we also have some new faces, like my best buddy Alinius, for coming on today's video and helping out. Also, with Lara-chan. She'll be linked in the description below. She's a newcomer. And another newcomer as well, Kavito, aka Kavito, Bivis. Bivis Art. I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce it. Bivis. But, yeah, no. Thank every single one of them for helping on today's video and showing their fantastic artistic stills. Wow, Josh. Okay. So with all that out of the way, let's just jump right into it. Let's rip gorgeous, baby. Let's go! To start this segment off of personal background and history, I have to make the disclaimer that I won't be able to tell you everything about his backstory, since to do so here would be to spoil another upcoming character with extreme importance in the Tale of Travelers universe. So I will have to give you brief cliff notes of the general idea, and you'll have to fill in the imagination for yourself. Circus King comes from a species that utilize a form of magic that is foreign to the Dragon Ball universe. It's not a form of energy that you have seen in Dragon Ball up to this point. It is a specifically designed, original Tale of Travelers concept, otherwise known as new magic. Circus King is a part of a very prestigious family. He comes from a line of well-respected and powerful mages. However, there was a problem. His father is an absolute bastard. He is a cold, manipulative, sociopathic monster. And being born in that sort of life, there's only one way you're getting out of that. That's either you're getting aborted or you're getting thrown on the streets. And the latter was true for Circus King. And the reason why he was thrown on the streets in particular was because, unlike every other person in his species, minus a few, he was born without the innate ability to utilize this form of magic that is unique to their species alone. This form of magic, like I said, I'll get into another video another time, but just to summarize, some people in this species can't utilize it because of a genetic fault. It's kind of like dwarfism is for humans. It doesn't happen all the time, and it's very rare, but it does happen. And this is the case for Circus King. While his father originally conceived his son in order to perhaps gain an apprentice, or an assassin in this case, a powerful vestige for his power to utilize to take out strategic targets, or take specific points for himself, or just to accumulate more power, Circus King was none of those things because he couldn't utilize magic. And like I said at the top of this, he was yeeted out into the streets and sold into a circus. However, while Circus King was, let's just say, inept at using magic, he would find greener pastures in a form of magic that we all know so well. That form of magic being known as soul magic. Now, soul magic is one of the key fundamental parts of the Triangle of Life, which will be linked to in the video below since I made a video on it. Now, the Triangle of Life consists of key, basic energy in the universe that's utilized in every single atom of our existence, life energy, otherwise known as Genki energy, energy that exists within living creatures exclusively, and finally, and the one that Circus King particularly took interest in, soul energy. Soul energy is inherently linked to the mind. The soul is your mind's imprint. It is the very core of your being. It's your personality, your memories, everything about you that makes you, you. Now, while I will have to make an entire new video just to explain this magic system, just the bare bone essentials are going to be placed down right here in this video. That will be linked to in the powers and abilities, but just to wrap up the history and background, he took interest in these arts, these dark arts, and he became a practitioner in soul magic, and eventually took control of the circus and made it into an intergalactic show for everyone's amusement of all ages and all sizes. However, the circus, which he deemed himself the king of, had a sinister purpose belying it. He used it as a way to find vessels, people to do his bidding against their will, to take out their souls, literally rip it out of their bodies, and use their bodies like puppets. And well, along the way, he started making deals. He started to become something of what you might call a demon. Whenever you need something shady done in the 7th universe, or you just want power, you go to this guy. He became something of an underworld crime boss, the likes of which Frieza would even do deals with every now and then, if he needed an ample supply of soldiers, meat puppets. Which takes us into the modern day, as we find him leading on a massive circus that goes planet to planet, showing off its wonders and splendors to all, and under the cover of darkness, taking its people for his rising army. Moving into the personality and passions portion of this video, and to borrow the definition from our old pal EasyDams.com, Circus King is a textbook chaotic neutral character. A chaotic neutral character follows his whims. He is an individualist first and last. He values his own freedom and liberty, but doesn't strive to protect others' freedoms. He avoids authority, resents restrictions, and challenges traditions. A chaotic neutral character does not intentionally disrupt organizations as part of a campaign of anarchy. To do so, he would have to be motivated by either good and a desire to liberate others, or evil and a desire to make those different from himself suffer. A chaotic neutral character may be unpredictable, but his behavior is not totally random. He is not as likely to jump off a bridge as he is to cross it. While Circus King is inherently chaotic neutral, there are a few other things that motivate him in life, like greed and revenge. Now, while Circus King may be a chaotic neutral at heart, there are a few other things in his very core that motivate him. He doesn't just gain power for the sake of gaining power, although it does have its fringe benefits. He does this as a sort of plan. He's planning for the long game. He knows where his father is. He knows everything about him, where his plans are going, and who he is as a person. And while he could strike with the power that he's accumulated over the several years since he was abandoned in the circus, he is trying to wait for the right opportunity to strike. And along the way, collides with our hero Wanderer, seeking his power, not necessarily for himself, although, like I said, fringe benefits. By using Wanderer's vessel, his body, he could be a valuable pawn to him when the time comes to take revenge on his father. And this would be a nice segue into the codes and limits. Moving into the codes and limits of Circus King is, well, he's fairly simple in the fact that he does whatever he needs to do in a given situation to get the profitable outcome for himself. This can mean just simply bargaining or trading, or forcefully taking souls and bodies to recruit his own army, and for the former to, raise his power. Now, this is all good and dandy, however, he does sort of have a code. The only reason he's doing any of this is to get back at his father, to find him one day and put a bullet in his head. Not literally a bullet, but you get my general gist, don't you? So he has a few, let's just say, choice ideals. Like, for example, he doesn't go after kids, and 2, he doesn't go after the elderly. In both situations, you could also look at it as, well, these people won't exactly be the best slaves or provide the most energy for him. But you can also look at it like, he has a code of honor and he doesn't go after these specific people. He's still a monster, but I like to think that just because he's a monster doesn't mean that he can't be civilized. He's a civilized demon, that's how I'd put it. But yeah, no, beyond that, these pretty much open game for everyone else in the entire universe. So yeah, he's pretty evil, but he does have a kind of reason if you think about it, but then again, tenuous at best. Moving into the powers and abilities portion of the video, at the top of this, I mentioned that CK has an affinity for soul magic. Soul magic being a form of manipulation of the Triangle of Life, exclusive to manipulating soul energy. Soul energy, just to summarize again, is the imprint of your mind into the universe. It's everything that you are and everything that you will be. The sum total of everything that you could possibly be. And CK possesses the capacity to manipulate this energy into his own devious purposes. And much like the Force from Star Wars, there is a dark side and a light side, a demon side and a Kaioshin side, if you will. There is the ability to manipulate 2 aspects and get 2 different abilities depending on which route you go down. For the Kaioshin side, those abilities more are defensive in nature and more about being zenful. However, the more dark side, demon side abilities gives you some really fucked up shit. And CK is a literal master in this field, so I'm just gonna real quick list off some of the abilities that he can do. One of his more basic abilities, Mind Read. Given some more intense abilities, we have Illusions, Fear Mirror, the ability to project your own fears onto a person, or to show them themselves their own greatest fears. Desire Sense, basically the Lucifer ability if you watch the show Lucifer. Soul Leech, Mind Erase, Mind Imprison, Mindscape, Soul Imprisonment, Mind Twist, Body Swap. Yes, the same Body Swap, I might add, from Captain Ginyu. Soul Consumption, Majin Unleashed, Soul Fraud, Soul Corruption, Complete Mind Erasure, and then you have his more OP abilities, Deal Magic, Soul Vampirism, and Mind Over Matter. Now that first and last ability are 2 of his strongest. The first one sort of puts a contract on your soul. It makes you to where you are incapable of breaking the arrangements of a deal if you are a willing participant. And he uses this for almost every single interaction and deal that he makes in the universe. But he also uses it for a pre-game setup. He'll try to sly his way into giving yes or no questions. Yes or no questions being the most common way to activate the deal magic. It locks you into the agreement set in the deal, and you have to do the deal, or at least find a loophole to get out of it. It's very insidious, and it's very difficult, and that's why it's one of its most powerful abilities. His second ability that I mentioned was that he has the ability of Mind Over Matter. Mind Over Matter is essentially creating a powerful illusion, so powerful, so realistic, and so undiscernible from real life that your body can't tell the difference, and it gives you physical damage even if the person there isn't actually there. If you need an example in fiction for how this might work, you only have to look so far as Teen Titans and Season 3, Episode 5, Haunted.
The stress on his brain is destroying his body. Robin truly believes he's fighting Slade, and Slade is winning.
Or Fringe Season 1, Episode 9, The Dreamscape, and its cold open. Those things aren't actually there, but they're giving physical damage despite of it. That's how pretty much it works. He also has the ability to project beams of soul energy, basically ki blasts, but using soul as the fuel rather than ki. And despite him not being a physical fighter, using more trickery and mind manipulation, basically a Mysterio if you will, he does have some physical durability. I mean, he does absorb a lot of souls and get a lot of power in exchange. Every soul is a bottle of ki, so just imagine how much ki he can accumulate by absorbing souls over time. I mean, he's pretty strong. He's at least strong enough to go head-to-head with Wanderer, at least at 25%. Anything beyond that, and I don't know. But, again, that's not the thing that makes him the strongest enemy Wanderer's ever faced. It's the fact that he can get in your mind and mess with you. That is what makes him such a dangerous threat. If you don't have the will and mental focus to overcome his illusions, or see through them at the very least, then you're gonna be doomed. He also has the ability to go into your very dreams and pull you into his own soulscape. His soulscape being located on his cane. The glowing orb filled with souls, that's his quote-unquote soulscape. It's a complete realm all under his control that he can manipulate and use and throw you inside to get some real damage in on you. And there's basically no way to escape once you're in there. Although at that point, you're already screwed, so there's no real point in fighting. Yeah, this guy's a real big bad threat. But he's not without his weaknesses. Speaking of which... Moving into the weaknesses and upper limits of Circus King, like I said at the very end of that, no one is without a weakness. Although Circus King doesn't exactly have a glaring Achilles heel, his weakness can be found in the simple fact of, once you've overcome your greatest fear, once you've seen through his most powerful illusions, and once you have focused yourself to where his mental attacks won't harm you, there's nothing he can do. His greatest weapon is his mind, and once you've taken that away from him, and taken away his ability to weaponize his mind, I mean, he has no power over you at that point. And while he's not a slouch, per se, he's not exactly going toe-to-toe with people. I mean, he has a cane sword, so he can do some damage. It's made out of key metal, so it can cut you pretty good. And he's pretty strong in his own right. He can make soul blasts, he can fly, he can do basically anything that a regular Z fighter can do. But that's just not his strength. It's not something he's used to. So basically, just break through all the mental illusions and you're golden. Hell, his abilities to control your soul aren't even all that much of a threat once you've mastered your mind, since, like I said, the mind and the soul are intrinsically linked. To attack one is to attack both of them, and if you have a grasp on one, you can have a slight grasp on the other. Now, if I was to describe this character using an analogy of other fiction characters, then I would have to say he is a fusion between Freddy Krueger, Pennywise the Dancing Clown, and Dr. Facilier, aka the Shadow Man from Princess and the Frog, all fused into one neat, fancy-looking package. He's only as powerful as your own ability to feel fear. Once you stop feeling fear, desire, or doubt, you're golden. Now, believe it or not, the original and first design I got for this character was actually going to be used for Parasite, or what Parasite would become. Circus King was originally designed to be Parasite. You can see it in their color designs and palettes, and the fact that they both have sort of the same vibe that Wanderer has. They both leech on an aspect of himself. They're both parasites in their own regard. However, I eventually decided that I needed more villains, so I reused this design and made someone else. But I kept this one, and just in case I needed a new villain. And, well, the rest is history. Also, another little fun fact is that the name and design for this character was actually inspired by The Greatest Showman and the song The Greatest Show. There's even a line in that song that says, under the hat of the Circus King or something. And I was just like, whenever I hear that song now, all I can see is Circus King. But yeah, no, I just thought that was funny. And yeah, that's it. Sorry it took so long to get to this video, but I've told you before that this channel is not cheap, and getting all the commissions done in an orderly and timely fashion takes a lot of effort and a lot of time and a lot of money. So I thank you for sticking around for the channel as long as you guys have. I'll try to be more concise as the days come by. Money shouldn't be an issue in the coming days, hopefully. But yeah, I'm very sorry for the long gaps and breaks in between each video. I'll try to be more forthcoming in the future when I go on a break. And another special thank you to all the artists in today's video. I couldn't have made it without them, and well, you know what to do. I've said this before. Go down in the description below, subscribe, give them all your money, they deserve it thoroughly. They're amazing artists. And next video, if all things go according to plan, should be a Lord Slug video. Yeah, you've been waiting for that one, haven't you? But with all that out of the way, I want to thank you for joining me on today's video. Don't forget to take time every day to stop and smell the roses. Happy Halloween, and I'll see you guys next time.